So, we've been spending a bunch of time on systems of equations. The next logical step is to talk about a system of inequalities. The only difference, it's still a package deal of a couple pieces, but now we have inequality signs instead of equal signs. And we learned 4 different ways to solve systems of equations. The good news is we only have one way we're going to do systems of inequalities, and that's by graphing. So, we want to graph these two parts right here and see what they have in common. So, I'm going to go ahead and sketch a quick axis here, and I'll do my first equation. So my y-intercept is 2. I want open circle technically because it's just less than. I'm going to go up 1 over 3. Dotted line on this one. And I want to shade below this graph. Don't shade just yet, just kind of watch this part because I'm going to have you guys do something. But this whole area here should be shaded underneath the line. Again, don't shade that yourself yet. I'll tell you what I want you to do in a bit. So my second equation is y is greater than or equal to negative 4x plus 0. If there's no number there, it's really plus 0. So I start here. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And this line will look like that. And I need to shade above this line. So I'm going to go up. It's going to be this area along with this area down here. So I shaded each one separately. There's really nothing new there. I just kind of did what we've done in the past. But you'll notice that there is some overlap in my shading. Certain parts only got shaded once, but this region in here, this area that I'm going to put the star on, still don't write this down, I'll make a nice clean picture, is the answer. It's the part that is in both. It's above the orange line, but below the brown line. So that circled area here is the answer. You can see that my picture looks like kind of a mess. It's not going to work out so nicely if you just like shade everything and color. I guess you could just color really dark on that part, but there's an easier way to do it. So let me repeat this problem, but show you a cleaner way to get it done. So again, we only want the part that's shaded in both. Just like with equations, it has to work in each one. It's got to be shaded in each one. So, same idea here, but this time, instead of actually shading the whole thing like I did, this one starts out at 2, it goes up 1 over 3. I know I want to shade below this line, so what I'm going to do is put like little, I don't know, fringes, I'm not sure what you want to call them, little lines pointing downward, so I know I'm supposed to be below that line. That's just a little reminder for me later on. So you don't have to put so many of them. You can put, I've seen people do it where you just put an arrow on the end, so you don't do little fringes, you just put like a little down arrow. Whatever works for you, honestly, is fine. This one here starts at 0, down 4 over 1. So you can either just put like a little up arrow next to this so you know what you're supposed to shade above it, or you can do what I said, like the little fringes, if that's easier for you to see. So once you get it shaded, you're going to say which part is in both, and then you're like, oh, below this part it's going to be this guy right here. So you just shade that part, and that's your answer. So points that are in that dark orange area here, if you plug them in either equation, they will work. I'm not going to have you guys do that in this video, but perhaps in class we'll cover that. 2 more problems in this video here, and I'm just going to show you the shorter way. I'm not going to do it both ways again. As you can imagine, the equations can get a little tougher. It's the same rules we've been doing repeatedly all semester long. You have to get y by itself here, and after doing a little bit of math, don't forget to flip your sign on this one. You will end up getting y is less than or equal to, I believe, 2/5 x minus 3, if my math is correct there. I believe I'm good. Yep, remember to flip your sign. And then my second one is right there. So I'm going to go ahead and graph these. So, on my first equation here, I want to start out at negative 3. I want a solid circle. I'm going to go up 2 over 5. And I'm going to want to shade below this guy. It's going to be this part down here. My second one, remember, x equals is a vertical line. So there's going to be a vertical line drawn at 1, dotted, because it's just less than. And I want to shade. I want to shade to the left of this line because it's less than. So this guy right here on that side is getting shaded. So the part that's in both that overlaps is this bottom little corner right here. It's to the left of the orange and it's below the brown. So that orange area is my solution. And one more problem in this video. There's nothing that says we can only graph lines. We could have some different types of equations. Like here we have an absolute value inequality. If you recall, can't forget those rules from before, that moves our graph right 2, up 1. So I'm going to go right 2, up 1, put a dot there. Should be an open circle. Put my point there. My slope is 1, so I'm going to go up 1 over 1. I'm going to make it dotted because it's just greater than. And I need to shade above this graph. So I'm going to do on the inside right here, like that. My second one is a line. So let's see what's going on here. I'm going to start out at 4. I'm going to go down 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to be a a dotted line as well. I want to shade below that guy. So I want to be above the brown but below the red. And finally, I have another vertical line in this one. X is greater than 2, so 2 is right here. I want to be greater than that. So since I have 3 on this one, I have to find the part that works in like it has to work in all 3. So I need to be below the red, but above the brown, but to the right of the blue. And just kind of look at the different areas and see which part, like you can figure out which part they're trying to point to. In this case, it's going to be that little portion right in there. So my solution is that orange area, 'cause it's the part that gets shaded in each inequality.